Okay. So with your legs crossed, we'll find that nice tall seat. You can have your palms facing up here and just close the eyes and take a few breaths. We're just going to center with the breath to begin. Deep breath in through the nose, and then opening the lips to exhale. Just kind of gathering ourselves together here and thinking about that affirmation about being limitless and how you can succeed in anything that you try. Feel the breath get a little bit deeper. Allow the exhalation to slow down and get longer. And then go ahead and gently blink the eyes open. And we're going to inhale and bring the arms up. So palms are still facing up towards the ceiling. We'll inhale, bring the arms up. Palms together, exhale, hands in front of the heart. And then we'll reverse that. So inhale, palms go up. Exhale, down. Again, inhale up. Exhale, down. Last time, inhale up. Exhale, down. Good, keep the right hand on the floor and then the left palm turns up. As we inhale, bring the arm up to center. And then exhale, lean to the right, just opening up the side body here. So getting a stretch in the left side of the body. Try to keep the chest open and lifted. Inhale back to center. And then exhale that arm all the way down. So other side, right palm up, inhale, lift. Exhale, lean to the left. Inhale back to center. And then bring that arm all the way down. So we're going to do our cap stretches seated. So you can go ahead and bring your feet towards the floor. And we're going to grab underneath our legs. So underneath, behind our knees, we're going to grab there and kind of use that for leverage to go back and forth. And we can actually lift the toes to do this too. So just figure out what your body likes here to warm up the spine. So we're going to go ahead and exhale and round the spine and drop the head. And then inhale, grab the legs to help you open up the chest and lift the chest. And let the head gaze back a little, yep. And then exhale, round. Inhale, open. One more time, exhale, round. And then go ahead and come back to center. And we're going to use the strap that you have, the pillowcase, the wrapped up thing. And so, some of the classes, we'll just go ahead and go for this, but since we're working on the alignment and the posture, because honestly, that is how I healed my back pain, is by really just lining everything up. So we're gonna have the left leg extended out in front, and then the right heel will come to the inner thigh. We wanna get that, meat away from the sitting bone so we can get nice and grounded. And then the strap will go around the ball of the foot, or as close to that as you can. And then we are gonna have our arms extended out. So we do want straight arms here as we hold onto that strap. We're gonna inhale and get really long in the spine and bring the inner edges of the shoulder blades towards each other to get a nice long straight back. And then exhale, just kind of grab your hands and follow yourself down the strap until your hamstrings tell you to stop. So it might not be very far at all, and that's fine. So the goal here is just to hinge from the hips and try to keep the back as straight as possible. And if it's more comfortable for you to hold on to the shin or something like that, you can do that too. Just remember the idea of keeping the shoulders away from the ears and the shoulder blades towards each other and down the back. And then the neck can be nice and long. And we're going to take 3 more breaths here. So go ahead and lower your chin a little bit. Yep, good. One more really deep breath. And as you exhale, you'll release and go ahead and come to sitting back up. Good. And then we'll do the other side. So right leg out, left heel in. Do you know which leg you have that might be tighter than the other one, or are yours pretty even?
I think the right is a little tighter.
Okay. Mine is too. For some reason, my left leg is not as tight, which is funny because I'm right-handed. I do everything with the right side of my body. But for some
Me too.
Yeah, it's so interesting. I'm not sure how that works, but it's just our habits, whatever they are. My left side of the body is stronger for sure. All right, so inhale, lengthen first, and then imagine your hips are hinges, and you're just gonna hinge forward and keep the back nice and long. The toes will be flexed, so the toes are pointing up towards the ceiling, and then remember the shoulder blades are drawn towards each other and down towards the tailbone. So shoulders are away from the ears. And find your breath. We'll do 2 more breaths here. And then on your next exhalation, slowly come up. And then you can put the strap off to the side for now. We're gonna go ahead and open the legs. So with your hips being tight like they are, which is what we are gonna be working on today, and then I have a couple of pigeons for you to do. So okay. I'm hitting all angles of your hips here. So we can figure out what part is really the tightest. I have a feeling, like you said, you really feel that stretch in the outer thigh. We'll find out though. So go ahead and just open up the knees separated from each other. And what we want to do here is you can place your hands behind you first just to help you get lifted. Okay, let's see. We want to keep the knees pressing open, pressing back. Okay, and that's going to help us come forward. So as we press the knees open and back, that helps us come forward. So we might not hinge forward very far at all. But go ahead and if you're able to put the hands in front now, you can start to walk the hands forward a little bit. And where are you at with your hands? Are you anywhere near your feet? If you're not, that's completely fine.
I'll grab your feet. Yes, I can grab my feet.
You can? All right. So go ahead and either grab the ankles or grab your big toes with your peace fingers. Yeah, and then use that to help the shoulders away from the ears. Take a deep breath in, and then you're gonna exhale and just soften your heart towards the floor. And just stop. You might only go another centimeter, and that's fine. Good. And are you mostly feeling this in the hamstrings in the back of the leg?
Actually, it's inside the leg. I'm feeling this.
Okay. Take one more breath here. And then go ahead and slowly come up. We're going to bring the bottoms of the feet together. So coming into Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together. All right, so how do you feel here? Where are you feeling it here?
Inside. I thought it was more outside, but
yeah, for this one, you should feel it more on the inside.
Inside.
So grab the ankles and try to get the heels as close to your sitting bones as possible. For the first, actually, we've done enough forward folding. Let's just go ahead. For this one, we are going to actually round the spine. So inhale, lengthen. And then as you exhale, aim the top of your head towards your feet. And then let your arms push your knees open as you do that. So go ahead and get as much rounding in the spine as you can here. And really drop the chin, drop the neck. And kind of fall into your surrender place. Just letting everything go here. Take 2 more breaths. See if there's any place that you can let go a little bit more, whether it's in the knees and the neck. And then go ahead and slowly come back to a seated position. And we're gonna go to hands and knees, okay? So how is this angle up here? Is it good to have that angle there? To have both angles so you can see me from the side and the front? Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I was thinking for this one especially, so we're just gonna kind of bring the hips towards the ear, hip toward the ear. We're just gonna warm up the hips that way. So just go ahead and find some movement. So right hip towards the right ear, left hip towards the left ear, and then we're gonna just kind of do some circles with the hips. Whatever direction you're going, do that a few times, and then we'll go in the opposite direction. So you'll go clockwise and counterclockwise with your hip circles. And then another little movement with just moving the hips back and forth. Good. These are always my favorite. I mean, that's not really even a yoga posture. It's just a stretch, but it feels so good.
Feels good.
Love it. All right. So go ahead and come back to a neutral spine. We're going to come up into our first downward facing dog. Okay. So where we are now, we want to go 1 palm length forward. Okay. And then curl the toes under. And then here's where we're going to start with the alignment, focus. I don't want you to worry about straightening your legs or moving your hands, because I know I'm going to come a little closer to you for a minute so I can see you. But I feel like, how can I help you in your downward facing dog? Are you okay with your down dog right now?
So I have trouble, my toes are an issue.
Okay.
So the curling up and trying to lift on my toes kind of hurts. I have to kind of get on my whole foot.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually, your down dog looks really good. So
okay.
Do you have a problem with your toes, or they just need to be stretched out?
They are bunions and hammer toes.
Yeah.
So bending them, I don't know. I'm nervous about stretching them too much. It might be good to stretch them. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you have any experience with that?
Yeah, actually, when we get to Tadasana, we'll focus really on where you're going to press on your feet and start to focus on where the weight should be and when you're walking in that.
Okay.
Do you have flat feet, or do you have collapsed arches?
I have a very high arch.
Very high arch. Okay. Okay. Where do you usually have the weight? Do you pronate, like on the inner edges of the feet, or do you?
I don't know.
We would know, but we'll find out when we get to Tadasana.
Okay. Okay.
I will look actually into the bunions and stuff with the feet, but from what I know as of right now, by practicing sitting on the heels, just kind of sitting in this this hero pose with the toes curled. Even if you have to start all the way up here and just very slowly, after weeks and weeks, just make your way down, that'll help.
Okay.
As long as you don't have something with the bones or something like that. So it will probably be painful for a while. And then also tennis ball on the foot. Do you ever use a tennis ball?
Yeah, I've done that.
Okay.
Yes, I've heard that before. I've done that.
Okay. All right, well then we'll check out your Tadasana today. All right, cool. So just try to put as much pressure as you can in the down dog and just don't overdo it. Okay. That's the part that where it is uncomfortable sometimes, but to your benefit. I just want to look into it and make sure that, you know, I give you the correct information. All right, so we're up and down dog. And then our knees are going to be bent. So really lift the hip sockets up to the ceiling. So you'll curl the buttocks up to the ceiling. You'll drop the head so your ears are lined up with your inner arms. Good. And then here you can kind of pedal the feet, just walk it out a little bit. Still kind of warming up the body and the spine, but feel really long from the tip of the head out through the tailbone. Nice long spine. And even here, we're gathering in the lower belly and just kind of engaging the lower belly to protect the lower back. And from here, we're going to go into a lunge. So you can drop to your knees first if you want, or take that right foot and bring it right up towards the front of your mat. Okay, good. You can keep the back knee dropped. If you want to challenge yourself at some point while we're doing this, you can lift the back knee, but I'm going to keep my knee down for now. And I'm going to focus more on my front toes being lined up, my knee being directly over the ankle. I'm hugging the thighs to the midline, so I'm hugging my thighs towards each other and engaging those muscles. And then we're going to inhale and bring the arms up, palms together. And as we exhale, we're going to start to twist. And we're going to bring the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. And then continue to spiral that spine open, yeah? And if it's okay with your neck, you can look up over by your right elbow, or you can look straight ahead. Or, I'm sorry, neutral. And we're going to take a few breaths here. So we're going to focus on pressing the top of the left foot into the mat, pressing all four corners of the right foot into the mat, engaging the lower belly in and up through the crown of the head, and trying to get that left elbow as close as we can to the outside of the knee, even if you have to bring the knee in a little bit. Yes. And then see how that helps you lift the chest and twist open. We'll take one more good breath here. And then as you exhale, look down at your foot, and then bring your hands on either side of the foot. We're gonna lift the back knee, so we do have to curl the toes under to get that to happen, and then return back to your downward facing dog. And then just kind of walk it out a little bit. Good, and then we're just gonna do the same exact thing on the other side. So this side might be easier for you since your left side's not as tight, but you can bring that right knee to the ground if you want. Good. And get that front toe lined up. Knee over ankle, hug the thighs towards each other, and then inhale, bring the arms up. And then as you exhale, start to twist to the left. And try to get that right knee as close to the the right elbow as close to the outside of the knee as possible. Yep. And then press the knee into the elbow into the knee, and start to rotate the chest open. Yeah, so bring that left shoulder back as much as you can. Yeah, good. You just self-corrected. And we're going to take a few good breaths here. So find your focus point. We call it the drishti. Focus point can be a spot on the carpet. It could be anything. And that way you can focus on the breath while you breathe. Good, one more good breath here. And then as you exhale, look down at your front foot, and then bring your hands on either side of the foot. Lift the right knee, and you'll return back to downward facing dog. So was that side more difficult for you?
It's kind of the same, not too bad.
Okay.
I'm losing my balance is my problem.
You did not fall once. I didn't see it. Barely. That's a difficult pose. You're on one knee. Okay, so from here, we're gonna go into child's pose. So go ahead and drop your knees to the mat, widen them open to the edges of the mat, and then bring the big toes together, and then sit back on your heels. And then you can walk the hands forward so your forehead is touching the mat. And if your forehead doesn't touch the mat, you can stack your fists and rest it on your fists. So I want you to kind of think about what's going on with your spine right now, even in child's pose. The spine will be nice and long. And the neck is just an extension of the spine. So that's going for the ride, right along with the spine. So if your neck is bent back or bent forward, you can lower it or lift it with your hands. And kind of feel that evenness of the breath traveling up and down each side of the spine. Allow the hips to get heavy towards the heels. Returning to the breath. For one short rest before we come to standing. So take your last breath here in this pose, and as you exhale, you'll return back to hands and knees, and then back up to downward facing dog. So see now, even if you're with your hamstrings beginning to warm up a little bit, see if your heels can get heavier towards the floor. I feel like you're pretty flexible in the hamstrings. They don't seem that, like my knees are pretty bent because my hamstrings always start out so tight. But I remember, I always know people's down dog. So I feel like your heels could probably start to get heavy towards the floor. They don't have to touch though. And then we're gonna start walking towards the front of the mat. So just very slowly make your way to the front of the mat. And then press all four corners of your feet into the ground. Slightly bend the knees. Get a nice long spine here. And legs are super strong. Inhale, bring the arms up. Good. Come to a standing position, palms together. Exhale, hands in front of your heart. Good. That was a really good flat back. Okay, so here is where we are going to look at your mountain pose. So go ahead and face me for a minute. Yep. And we're going to start with the feet, obviously, the foundation of everything that we do. What kind of shoes do you wear? Do you wear good shoes for your feet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very pricey shoes.
Are, but
yeah.
They're worth it. You deserve it
Yep.
for your feet. You deserve that investment. Okay, so this is where we want to be sure that we're putting our pressure here, the ball mound of the big toe. Almost like, we talk about the four corners of the foot, but even if you could just imagine ball mound, pinky mound, and heel, like evenly putting the pressure on these 3 points of the feet.
Okay.
Do you walk with your feet out, in, straight?
I think they're pretty straight. I don't know, maybe out a little.
Okay. For this pose, we're gonna go ahead and make them completely straight. And then take a look at your knees and see where your knees are headed. If they're going in, we wanna make sure we engage the quadriceps to have them line up directly over the ankles. So we're pressing the ball mounds of the big toes, lifting the arches, we're lining the knees up over the ankles. The legs are really, really active here, and it almost feels like we're ripping the mat apart. That's how active the legs are. And then the hips, we're gonna go ahead and make sure we're not, leaning forward. We wanna make sure that The hips are lined up over the ankles, and then the chest is lifted. Good. Sometimes it feels like you're gonna tip over, and if your toes are lifted, that's completely fine. Okay, just try to press that balance of the weight in all three of the spots that we talked about on the bottom of the foot. And then the inner edges of the shoulder blades towards each other and down. Good. How does this feel? Very awkward?
A little.
Your body will strengthen in all the right places if you start to shift the weight into a balance in all the right balance places. So if you let this posture go for a moment and just stand, where do you feel most of your weight going?
Right side, I guess.
Yeah. So you favor the right side?
I think so.
It makes sense why it's tighter then.
Yeah.
For sure. My weight usually goes to the outer edges of the feet, and I have a tendency to walk like that if I'm not being very, aware.
And I think I'm on the balls of my feet more.
Okay.
I need to get my heels more grounded.
Yeah. So if you look at the hip creases that we talk about and sink those back, it's almost like sticking your bum out. That will help shift the weights, and then stay here and just straighten up the torso. And that's the posture you're looking for, because we do have a natural S in the spine. So we do want that lower lumbar. Yeah. There's a lot of tucking that goes on in our nation. So that kind of makes the body shift forward. And a lot of us kind of walk like this with our hips forward.
Uh-huh.
And that causes all kinds of feet problems. So just try to be sure that you're balanced in your weight on your feet. And just start there. Just practice that this week and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We're going to move on to triangles. So this is where you will want to unfold your chair. And just put it on, say, the top of your mat.
On the mat?
Yeah, like the end of it. Yep, because you're going to actually widen your legs and just use that for your hand. So where I end up putting my block, where my block is right now, is where your chair will be to get into that posture.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And even if you just use a little tiny part of it, that's okay. All right, so we have our wide stance, and then the right toes are going to point out 90 degrees. And then engage your quadriceps on both legs. So the legs are very strong right now, and the foundation is strong. The balance in the feet is strong. And then start to shift or deepen this right hip here. And then
in the wrong way.
Let me see which way.
Go this way, right?
Yeah, let's do that. Okay.
Okay.
So just follow my voice then. So widen your stance. Right toes are pointing out 90 degrees. Your back foot, the toes should be in a little bit, almost like a 45-degree angle. Yeah.
Okay.
And that way you can shift your hips to the left. Like you can start deepening this right hip crease. And then reach really far with your right hand. Front leg stays straight. And then drop the hand towards the chair wherever it falls. And then we want to try to have our body like it's the upper torso, like it's in between two panes of glass. So go ahead and stand up for a minute. Yeah, and just face me. Let's do it facing me. Let's forget it for a moment. All right. So even if we're mirroring each other, it's okay. So go ahead and widen your stance. And then bring the right toes out. And then take your right fingertips and find that hip crease where your leg actually bends. Okay. And push. Yep, it should be lower. It'll probably be a little low. Oh, there you go, yeah. So go ahead and push on that until you feel the back of your right leg stretching. Okay, good. And now reach with your right arm. And then see if you can bring it down to, say, your chin. Or if the chair is right there, whatever is easier. And then go ahead and put your left hand on your hip here, and then twist open. So you're stacking the shoulders. Good, that is great. And if you want, you can bring your right fingertips up to the ceiling. Perfect. And you can look wherever you would like. We're gonna take 5 really good breaths here. And continue to be sure your chest is lifted, that the fingertips are directly up towards the ceiling. And as your legs are working strong, your spine is still lengthening out through the crown of the head. Good. On your next exhalation, look down towards the floor. And then we're gonna engage the inner thighs and press the feet into the mat so we can just kind of pop ourselves back up safely. Good. And then we'll do the other side. So just switch your toes. All right. So your left, you're doing your right toes now, right?
Yeah, my right toe's forward.
Okay, so I'll just do that side with you. So right fingertips into the right hip crease. All right, good. Lengthen, bring that hand down, and then twist so your chest opens and your shoulders stack as much as possible. Good. And just take a few breaths here. See if you can twist open a little bit more. Are you, let's see if we can get your right ribs over the area of your right leg. Yep, so you are like kind of just tilting sideways instead of forward.
Okay.
Yeah, good. Take one more breath here. You doing okay?
Yeah.
All right. Notice where the weight is in your feet right now too, and that your thighs are engaged and you're using all the muscles in the legs. On your next exhalation, go ahead and look down. And then press the feet into your mat and stand up. And you can come back to mountain pose at the top of your mat. Good. We're gonna go ahead and do a balancing pose. So, where you are right now is good. I wonder why my head is cut off now. Let me fix that.
You can go back a little.
Yeah, that's okay.
There you go.
Okay, is that good?
Yeah.
All right, so shift all of your weight to your left leg. And then we're just gonna lift the right knee. So you'll need to find your focus point and probably just listen to my voice at this point. Is your knee go above your hips?
No.
That's and grab the knee. We're just gonna hug the knee up like this for a moment. See if you can hug it up close to the body. You can put your left hand on your hip.
I don't have enough balance.
Okay, use the chair. The chair will be perfect then. Good. Yep, so your left hand will stay on the chair, and then, good. See if you can get really tall and flex the foot so the foot is flat on the bottom. Good. And then see if you can switch to one hand. And then open it up just a little bit. As far as you can go is completely fine. And keep that focus point. We're gonna take a couple of breaths here. If your standing leg, if the ankle is rolling a little bit and moving and wobbling, that's okay. That's your ankle getting stronger. Good. Go ahead and close the knee. And then straighten the leg. And then bring it back down. Woo! Okay, walk that out. That was a good one. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Good. See, that's why I like a folding chair, because you can just, I mean,
Yeah, it just helps me balance a little bit.
yes. And it's better than a wall because you can still just kind of be out in the middle. So shift your weight to the right leg, and then go ahead and grab the left knee with your left hand, and your right hand will stay on the chair. See if you can use your strength towards you. It's okay if you can't right now. It's okay. Once you get it there, see if you can lift the chest. Good. Find your focus point and then open up to the side. That looks amazing. Flex the foot, take your couple breaths here. Good, using that muscle, the muscles in your left leg that's lifted right now. Feeling all of those working for you. And then come back to center. And then straighten the leg, bring it back down, and shake it off. That was really good. See, people don't
You felt that, huh?
yoga, but they do. Right? Okay. We're gonna do one more. Actually, we're gonna take it back down to the ground because I want to make sure I get a couple of pigeons in with you. I have a question though, and because you have blankets and because this is about the alignment, have we ever done this pigeon with you where it's like the number 7 with your legs?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Get your pillows ready. And then we're just going to kind of make our way to the floor. So come to the front of your mat. And then inhale, bring the arms up. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, bring your hands to your thighs and get a nice flat back. And then exhale, fold. And then we're going to step back and come into downward facing dog. Okay? From here, you're going to bend the right knee towards the face and going towards the front of the mat. And then you're going to rest it on the mat. The left leg will slide back. So your left leg is extended out behind you. And your front leg is like the number 7. So,
okay, so twist it.
yes. The hip is externally rotated. The heel will be close to your groin. So it doesn't have to be, like you can kind of see how close my heel is. My heel is close to the body. Unless you're feeling that flexibility in the hip, you can scoot it, more parallel to the front of the mat. And now I want you to kind of notice what's going on with your right sitting bone. If you're feeling space between your right sitting bone and the mat, shove a pillow under there.
So do I want my hip on the floor or raised?
So you want to try to get your pelvis as close to the floor as possible. So if your right sitting bone is it lifted?
No.
Oh, you're all the way down?
I'm all the way down.
Look at you telling me that your thighs are going in full pigeon. That's awesome. All right. So tell me if your this part of your body, the back of the pelvis, is it parallel to the floor? Is it even?
No.
Okay. So make it even.
So I need to turn.
Yeah, make it even.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Behind what it will look like. So right now I'm thinking you're here.
Yes.
Okay, so you want to be here.
Okay. So I do need to lift a little.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. And if there's a lot of space here, put a pillow underneath.
Okay.
Yeah, and that'll support that. Because we're going to be here for a couple minutes, a couple of good breaths. So those back toes, are they uncurled for you?
Yes.
Okay, so right now you might be feeling your left hip flexors stretching and then the outside of your right leg. And we can stay up here if this is comfortable, or you can go onto your forearms and start to come closer to the ground. Is this okay for you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, you might be able to go all the way down then. So go ahead and stack your fists, or you can go all the way into sleeping pigeon, all the way down. And see how that feels. And if you're good here, we're just going to spend a little bit of time breathing here. And notice where your tightness is. Notice if you're feeling any tension, where you're feeling it around the hips and the legs. And wherever you are feeling tightness, send your breath to those places and ask your body to release in those spots. Give them permission to soften up. Take 3 more good breaths. And on that last exhalation, bring the palms back to the floor and start to press yourself up slowly. And you're going to want to come out of this slowly. So curl the left toes under as much as you can to lift the back knee. And then the right leg, you're going to slowly, slowly, slowly shimmy it back until you're back up into downward facing dog. And here I want you to bend the knee. So that right leg that was just bent, I want you to lift it and then just bend the knee. And we're gonna just do big circles with the right hip. Yeah. Good. And then bring the right foot back down. We're gonna do pigeon on the other side. So your left knee bends and the knee comes towards the face. And you'll bring yourself in the reverse number 7. This one has a nice, fun name, Akapada Raja Kapitasana. Pigeon is funny.
Okay.
How is it on this side?
How did I get there? Okay. That was really, I could feel the tightness. That is where I needed that.
Is it on that side?
That right side was very tight.
Good. Okay, so you're looking for the same thing on this side, the evenness in the pelvis. The right toes will be scooted back, top of the foot on the floor. And then your left leg, knee bent, heel towards the groin. Come down to your forearms if that works. And then you can come into full sleeping pigeon. Try to remember to keep your shoulders away from the ears so your neck is still nice and long. And come back to the breath. We'll focus on your breathing here. Feel the hips open up. Feel the leg muscles softening. Getting the full benefit of what this posture can do for your body. Take one more deep breath. And as you exhale, bring the palms back to the mat. And then slowly come out of this by lifting the right knee, curling the right toes under, lifting the knee, and then very slowly making your way back to downward facing dog. And we'll do those big circles again. So by lifting your left leg, bending the knee, just do big circles for the hip joint. Good. And bring that leg back down. And then you could drop your knees down to the mat. We'll come into child's pose one more time. We'll take 3 breaths here. And when you're done with your 3 breaths, you will move on to your back. And once you're on your back, you just hug the knees and do a little rocky, rocky left to right. And just kind of massage that lower spine. I want to do one more twist and then we'll do the Shavasana. So you can rock and then just kind of gently drop your knees to the right. Extend your arms out to the sides like the letter T. And look over the left fingertips. Engage the lower belly and then bring the knees back up to center. And then you'll drop them over to the left. Looking over the right fingertips. And then engaging the abdominals, bring the knees back up towards the center. You can give them one more hug if you'd like, and then drop the feet down to the mat. And we're gonna stretch out the legs. We're gonna bring the arms overhead. We're gonna take a long stretch. And then get ready for relaxation. So if you have a blanket nearby, that's always nice and cozy. If you have the pillows you want to put under your knees, however you want to get comfortable for this Shavasana. If you want to turn the lights off, you get to decide.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And I'll give you a minute to situate yourself and you just tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right. So arms are back down towards the sides of the body with the palms facing up. And take a deep breath in and then exhale. One more deep breath in. We're going to gather up any leftover stress or tension in the body. And then as we exhale, we're going to let it leave through the mouth. And separate the ankles as much as you like. And let the feet hang out to the side. And with each exhalation, you're going to feel the muscles getting softer and softer. Beginning with the muscles in the face, the shoulders and the arms, the torso down to the hips. The legs and the feet, allowing the body to feel heavy. And if you have thoughts that come and go, that's okay. Begin to pay attention to the spaces in between each thought. As you give your body permission to rest. And for the next few moments, give yourself this gift of relaxation. Allow your inhalations to begin to deepen. Gently wiggle the fingers and the toes. And do what your body is asking right now, whether it be to slowly hug the knees or to take a long stretch. Doing either of those or both of those before you find your way back to your right side. Taking one last moment here. Before you press yourself back into any seated position that's comfortable for you. Bringing your hands together in front of your heart, and I'm going to read your card one last time. My ability to conquer my challenges is limitless. My potential to succeed is infinite. Thank you for letting me guide you tonight. Namaste. Thank you, Robin. I'm just so happy that you're doing this for yourself. It makes me so happy for you.
My little grandbaby is in England and she's in kindergarten. And so her mom is doing homeschool now. And I've been sending them yoga things. I found a little children's yoga, and I know you used to do yoga. So right after my meditation this morning, I got a video of Amelia doing her yoga and going namaste.
That is,
It was the sweetest thing.
I love it. So
Yeah.
she's 5. She's in kindergarten.
Yeah.
Aw. What
And
is,
so that for PE, they're doing yoga.
oh, that's so neat. How come they're in England? What brings them out there?
Work, my husband's son, they're my step family, and his job's in Harrogate.
Wow. That's,
So yeah, they're in the middle of handling whatever's happening in England.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hope, I mean, you will hopefully get to visit them at some point, you know?
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
neat.
She was so cute doing her namaste. She was so cute.
Cute. I,
Thank you very much.
yeah, thank you. You have a good night.
You too.
If you have any questions about anything, just let me know and I'll see you at the next class.
Okay, great. I'm signed up for doing this again on Thursday.
Perfect. Then I'll see
All
you.
right. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.